Mr. Castellucci, good to have you with us.
Nice to be here. Thank you, Alan.
Okay, now your company, Autostrade, just won a €2 billion contract in a state tender in France. You're an Italian company, maybe one of Europe's biggest, but how does an Italian company beat the French state companies in France?
It's the result of our strong competency in technologies related to tolling. We believe that we have a strong competitive advantage in this kind of activities and operations. We have been the first to introduce tolling, electronic tolling in Italy in 1990, the first to introduce tolling nationwide in Austria in 2002, and this time we will introduce a more developed way to toll trucks in France via a new technology based on satellite. I mean, it's a way to toll trucks without building stations. It's a very environmental friendly way to toll trucks, and this is why the project is called EcoTax.
Well, let me get this straight. You don't go through toll booths anymore.
No.
You buy a subscription or a card, and the satellites check to see if the trucks are paid up?
Exactly. This is based on an onboard unit, which is a satellite navigator. And that satellite navigator provides all the information necessary to toll the truck. And this will apply to more than 12,000 kilometers of national roads in France.
So that makes you really a Europe-wide company. I know you've been expanding outside of Italy. What are your activities in emerging market countries, in Asia or elsewhere?
Our main target for next years is to continue to invest in Italian network to develop to the bottleneck the network, but we are proceeding also very fast on the internationalization. We are building or managing toll roads in India and Brazil. We are participating to new tenders, and we are talking to potential partners to consolidate this business in those countries.
And are there other markets in the emerging markets, China or Southeast Asia or the Middle East, that you're interested in, any of those places?
Yes, but I mean, for the short and medium term, our main priority is to go deeper in those countries where we are present. India and Brazil are continents, and we believe that we can play a significant role in those markets without dispersing the resources.
So it's those markets rather than old Europe that really hold the future for you, like other companies?
Old Europe provides competencies, financial flexibility, but the growth will be in those markets, and we want to be there.
Okay, you've got these ambitions in India, Brazil, and other activities, but you know, you're an infrastructure company. You've got these new road corridors opening up, really, that will take trucks and vehicles from Europe all the way to China, over land. Don't you want to be part of that action? And what's that about strategically?
Our strategy is totally in line with the ambitions of governments to develop mobility and road mobility. And our financial flexibility is very substantial and can enable us to play a role in this game. We have more than 6 billion available resources in cash and committed credit lines.
6 billion euros?
Euros.
Of
yeah,
cash and credit lines?
And credit lines. This is why we can play a role as partner of governments.
Okay. Let's take India. There's a market where it's clear that they're growing fast, but they don't have the infrastructure to match their growth. What do you offer that nobody else does? Do you have a unique selling point?
We have financial flexibility, but we are not alone. To have cash, we have competencies, and we believe that not so many companies can have the competency of developing a toll road from financing to tolling to maintenance to construction. Our group is the most integrated group in the world, and we believe that we can provide a turnkey solution to governments.
You're operating in two of the biggest BRIC markets, India and Brazil.
Yeah.
What is it that every company, whether it's infrastructure or big projects, should understand about those markets to help them succeed?
Is integration of activities and integration of risks. To succeed in those markets, you need to understand well all the elements of the business, from building to contracting to developing toll systems to maintenance. And we believe that integration of competencies is the key success factor.
What's the biggest cultural or psychological difference for a European company in doing business in Asia from doing business in Europe?
The real risk and mistake is to believe that those countries are less developed and less sophisticated. It's not the case. They know as well as we do in old Europe how to do business, and governments are very sophisticated and competent. The real risk is not to believe this and not to understand this and treat them differently.
With respect.
Yes, respect is the key word.